If you're shopping for a home in coastal Delaware, flood insurance is probably not the first thing on your list, but it should be, because the most expensive house on this coast isn't the one sitting on the canal in Rehoboth, it's the one you bought without ever opening, the flood map. Two homes on the same street can carry flood premiums $4,000 apart. Houses a mile from the bay can sit in a zone most buyers never think to ask about. And the rule changed in 2022. It's called Risk Rating 2.0. And most buyers coming down from Philadelphia or DC have never heard of it. Get this wrong and the insurance bill alone wipes out the lifestyle that you moved here for. But get it right, and you'll pay $540 a year on a beach house while your neighbor pays $6,800 on a cottage that looks identical from the road. Here's how it actually plays out. A couple from outside Philly, 9 months of watching this market on Zillow, and a long weekend visit, 6 homes, narrowed it down to 2. Both renovated, both under $1 million, both looked perfect in the listing photos. The first was on the canal off Bay Vista Road in Rehoboth, Zone VE, the wave action zone. The flood quote came back at $6,800 a year, and wind coverage was another $3,200 on top. The second was 3/4 of a mile inland off Holland Glade Road, Zone X. Not required to carry flood insurance at all. They got a voluntary policy for $540 a year, just for peace of mind. Same lifestyle, same drive to the beach, same restaurants, $9,000 a year apart in carrying cost. They almost picked the first one. The photos were better. The flood premium didn't come up until after the inspection window closed. That's how this market burns buyers. Not on the price of the house, on the part of the math that nobody asks about. I'm Andy Staten, over 1,000 homes sold over the last 20 years. In the next 8 minutes, the 4 flood zones you need to know, what each one actually costs in insurance, the 2022 rule that changed most buyers still haven't caught up on, and the 3 questions to ask before you ever write an offer on a coastal home down here. The last one is the question that would have saved that couple from a $9,000 a year mistake. The 4 zones and the one that everyone misses. Here's what most buyers get wrong about flood risk. They think it's binary. Either you're on the water and it's a problem, or you're not on the water and you're fine. That's not how FEMA looks at it. In coastal Delaware, there are 4 zones you actually need to know. Zone VE is the worst. It's a wave action zone. This is the oceanfront, North Shores in Rehoboth, parts of Henlopen Acres, the dunes in Bethany. Premiums here routinely run $4,000 to $8,000 a year just for flood. Add wind coverage and you're north of $10,000. If your mortgage is federally backed, you can't opt out. Zone AE is the high-risk inland flood zone. Bayfront, canal front, low-lying neighborhoods, parts of Lewis Beach. The streets along the Rehoboth Canal, selections of Dewey, 1% annual flood chance, insurance is required. Premiums technically run $1,400 to $3,500. Zone X, shaded, is the one most buyers have never heard of. It's 0.2% annual chance, what people call the 500-year floodplain. Insurance isn't required by your lender, but it's smart to carry it. A policy here, it usually runs about $400 to $700 per year. Then there's Zone X unshaded, minimal risk, and no flood insurance needed. Most of West Lewis, most of the inland subdivisions, and most of the construction off Route 9 sits here. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Risk Rating 2.0, FEMA's newest system that started in 2022. It means 2 houses on the same street, in the same zone, can have completely different premiums. The house next door, it might be $1,400, and you might pay $2,800. Why? The distance from the water. First floor elevation, foundation type, pluvial flood risk, that's flooding from a rainfall, which the old maps didn't even factor in. Your zone tells you part of the story. Your specific property tells you the rest. There's a free Coastal Delaware flood zone cheat sheet in the description. Every town in this corridor, the dominant zones in each one, and realistic premium ranges, and a checklist of the first 3 questions to ask before you write that offer. No email gate, no funnel, just the document. The average Delaware flood premium gets quoted online at $1,497 a year. That number's useless. It's a statewide average that includes homes in Wilmington and Newark, 2 hours from the coast. But here's what it actually looks like on the ground in Sussex County in 2026. Oceanfront Bethany, Zone VE, $5,400 to $8,200 a year on a 4-bedroom. Canal Front Rehoboth, Zone AE, typically $1,800 to $3,200 on a renovated 3-bedroom. A Bayside cottage in Lewis Beach, Zone AE, usually $2,200 to $4,500. A new build in West Lewis, half a mile from any water, Zone X, 0 required. Most owners don't even carry a voluntary policy. Now here's the leverage point most buyers miss. The city of Rehoboth Beach has a CRS rating of 8. That's a community level rating FEMA gives to towns that exceed minimum floodplain management requirements. It means every flood policy inside city limits gets a 10% discount. Most buyers walk in not even knowing that's on the table. Same with private flood insurance. NFIP, the federal program, caps coverage at $250,000 on the dwelling. If the home is worth $1.2 million, that's nowhere near enough. So private carriers, they will write a higher limit policy that often beats NFIP on price for homes over $750,000. Both quotes should be pulled before you commit. Here are the 3 questions every buyer should ask before writing an offer on a coastal home in this market. I tell my own family these. Most buyers coming from out of state ask 0 of them. Question 1, what is the current owner's actual flood insurance premium right now? Not an estimate, not a quote from your agent's favorite carrier, their current declaration page. In Delaware, sellers don't have to volunteer this, but if you ask in writing before the offer, most will actually share it. Question 2, is there a current elevation certificate on file? If the home is in zone AE or VE, there usually is. The elevation certificate tells you how high the lowest floor sits relative to the base flood elevation. The higher above BFE, the lower the premium. If the certificate is missing, you're flying blind on what insurance will actually cost. Question 3, when was the last FEMA flood mat update for this property? The current Sussex County FIRM was adopted in March of 2015. That's a decade old. Preliminary updates are working through the appeal process right now. Houses that were in Zone X 10 years ago are getting redrawn as Zone AE. Houses that were AE are getting redrawn as X. The map your agent shows you may not be the map your insurance is rated on. Flood risk in coastal Delaware is real, but it's a buyable problem. It's a math problem. The buyers who get burned aren't the ones who bought on the water, they're the ones who never asked the math. Canal front homes in Rehoboth with a $1,700 a year flood premium, it's a great deal. Homes a mile inland where the buyer gets hit with a $4,000 flood premium, they didn't see it coming because no one checked the new maps. And that's where people get burned. The water doesn't decide whether you get burned. The questions you ask before signing do. That couple from Philly, they picked the second house. The one off Holland Glade Road, Zone X, $540 a year, voluntary policy. And they're sitting on their back deck right now, having coffee. There's a cardinal in the dogwood, Friday afternoon, and they love it. And every time it rains hard, they watch next door light up with friends in the wave zone, wondering whether to file a claim, what's the premium going to do next year, and whether to even keep the house. They paid $40,000 less for theirs, but they pay $6,000 a year to insure it. Same town, same beach, same lifestyle. The water isn't what costs you the dream in coastal Delaware. The not asking is. If you want to know how to navigate buying in coastal Delaware and what to offer, what to avoid, and how to not leave money on the table, then watch the next video. See you there.